Hello dear students, welcome back. This 2 marks question is from GATE 2000 exam. They are asking what will be the value of variable j after executing this program. Now I've already told you many times that execution has to begin from main function. That means this function will be called automatically. And whenever any function is called, a activation record will be pushed onto the stack. Suppose this is the activation record of main. Now first line will be executed inside main function, that is int I comma j. That means you are trying to declare two local variables named I and j. So these are the variables I and j. Okay. These are local variables, hence they will get memory inside the activation record of that function. Okay. In next line, you are trying to write a for loop. Initialization expression says I is equal to 0. That means variable I is initialized with the value 0. Then loop condition says I is less than or equal to 4. Is I less than or equal to 4? Yes, 0 is less than or equal to 4. This is true. That means you have to enter the body of loop. So body of loop says j is equal to incr. That means you are trying to call this function incr and the value that is passed is I. Because you are calling a function, a activation record will be pushed onto the stack. So this is the activation record for new function. The value that we are passing is I. That means this value. See, whenever you write I inside main function, that means this variable. Whenever you try to write I inside this function, that means this variable. Okay, the local variable I of incr function, and it will be present in the activation record of incr function. Okay, corresponding to the latest call. Now here you have called this function incr, that means activation record will be pushed, and this local variable, it will get memory inside this activation record only. Now we are passing 0 to this I, that means this value is passed here. Okay, and both of these variables, they are separate. Anyways, whatever is returned by this function call has to be assigned to j. Let us see what will be returned. So start executing this function line by line. First line says static and count is equal to 0. So a static variable named count is declared. All the static variables, they will get memory inside the data section. Okay. See, don't declare count here because this is activation record. Local variables will get memory here, but the static variables, they will be declared in the data section. Suppose that is the data section. This variable, it is assigned a value 0. So count is currently 0. And one more point, static variables, they need not be declared every time when a function is called. Only when function is called for first time, they will be declared. For all of the subsequent calls, the previous value will be retained. Okay, that means when this function ends, this memory location will not be deleted or updated. It will be kept as it is. Okay, for the next calls. Anyways, next line says count is equal to count plus I. So you have written I inside this function. That means you are talking about local variable I. So this I. Count plus I means 0 plus 0. That is 0 only, which is assigned to count once again. So this value, it is updated to 0. Okay, the new value is also 0 only. It is kind of no change. Then return count. That means you are trying to return a value 0. Okay, executing return means this activation record will be popped. Okay, so all of the local variables, they will be deleted. Now this variable I no longer exists. Okay, and what is returned? Count is returned, that was 0. So you will get 0. That means value 0 is assigned to j. So this 0 is assigned to j. Now execute the update expression. It is I plus plus. So I will now become 1. This I is written inside main function. That means you are talking about local variable I of the main function. This one. Okay. Again check if the loop condition is true. 1 is less than or equal to 4. That is true. So update, the body of loop will be executed once again. Okay. Body of loop says j is equal to incr. That means again a function is called. So activation record will be pushed corresponding to the new function call. Inside this function, there is a local variable I. To this I, we are passing this I. That means this time 1 will be passed. Okay. So this I is now 1. Then first line is static int count is equal to 0. But this function is now being called for second time. Already you have declared count. So whatever was the previous value of count, that will be retained. Okay. So count's previous value is 0. Keep it as it is. 0 is retained. Okay. So it is kind of saying this line will not be executed for second, third, fourth, fifth time. Okay. And so on. So execution will begin from here. Count is equal to count plus I. Count is currently 0. I is currently 1. Okay. 0 plus 1 is 1. So 1 is assigned to variable count. It is updated to 1 like this. Then return count. Return means this activation record will be deleted. Okay. And 1 is returned. So this evaluates to 1. 1 is assigned to j. So it is updated like this. Okay. What will happen next time? After body of loop, you are going to execute the update expression. It says I plus plus, which means I now becomes 2. Okay. 2 is still less than 4. That means again enter the body of loop. So again you are calling this function. This time what will you pass? You will pass 2. So the variable that will be present here, that I will get 2. 2 will be added to current value of count. Okay. See, this line will not be executed because count is static variable. So start from here. Count is equal to count plus I. Count is currently 1. I is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay. 3 will be returned. So the value that is returned, it will be written here like this. 3 is returned. And then after that, we are going to execute this line. So I plus plus means I now becomes 3. Okay. When I becomes 3, it is still less than or equal to 4. So again body of loop will be executed. And yeah, one point I've missed. This one will also be updated. See, this time we added 2 to it and returned 3. So this value is 3. Okay. And we were here. Yeah. 3 is less than or equal to 4. So this time what will happen? When incr will be called, we are passing a value 3. So this variable I, it will get 3. Okay. Then this line will be executed. Count is equal to count plus I. So count means 3. I means 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 is assigned to count. Okay. So this is updated to 6. And what happens? 6 is returned. Next line is return count. So 6 is returned. That means j is now updated to 6. See, return value is assigned to j. Now body of loop is completely executed for value I is equal to 3. That means update this value, make it 4. Now I becomes 4. Again check if loop condition is true. 4 is less than or equal to 4 is true. Okay. That means again the function will be called. This time I will be 4. Okay. The value that we are passing from here is 4. I is equal to 4 means 4 will be added to current value of count. So 4 plus 6 means 10 and 10 is returned. So this time j becomes 10. Okay. Now because value is returned, so this activation record, it will be popped and we have deleted all the variables inside this activation record. But don't delete this variable count, it is static. Its value has to be maintained as it is. Okay. Now you have just assigned this value here. Again go for update expression. Now update this value of I. That means I now becomes how much? 5. I is 5. Now what will happen? Loop condition will become false. And hence you will come out of the loop. Okay. Now see, no more lines are left. You will come here. There is no line. That means main function has ended and this program has completely been executed. So what is the value of j? Current value of j is 10. Answer to this question is 10. They were asking after completely executing it, what will be the value of j? It is 10. And what is the value of I? I is 5. So current value of I is 5. Don't say I is equal to 4. At I is equal to 4, the condition was true. We will enter the body of loop and again update it. I will become 5. When I becomes 5, only at that point condition will be false and we will come out of the loop. So had they asked what is the value of I after executing it, that will be 5. Okay.